Hey After Effects buddies, I wanted to take a look at creating this cool twirly text. Here we go. There you go. See, it's spinning around and we've got some depth to that text. Okay, so let's start with an empty composition. Just got a blank composition, and into that I'm going to add some text, and I'm going to use the vertical type tool. Okay, I'm just going to type in twirl. Okay, and I'll use the align button there to center that up. Alright. And onto that I'm going to add an adjustment layer. Okay. And I'm also now going to add a solid. And this solid, I'm going to call it GMap. My shortcut there for just gradient map. Make comp size, yeah. Okay. And on this, if I go to effects, okay, I'm going to go and pick from the generate gradient map. And I actually want the swap colors because the white color, when we put this particular effect on the time displacement, that will go first and black will go later. You'll see what I mean when I put it on, and I'm going to turn that off. Okay. So what I need to do now is I need to animate this text. So I'm going to go and just keep it, and I'm going to animate it in 3D. So I'm going to turn on the 3D layer. Okay, just down here, activate that little cube. Okay, on the switches. Okay, we'll press R, and on the Y rotation, I'm going to add a keyframe, and then let's say a couple of seconds later, I'm going to just rotate it by 1. Okay, so it's just going to do this. It's just going to twirl around. And I'll put this down to like half. Okay, so it just renders a bit faster. Okay, quality's not as good, but things will render faster. Okay, and at the moment, okay, I'll just switch this back to classic 3D as well. Okay, and that's going to render even faster. We'll jump to Cinema 4D a bit later. Okay, but at the moment we'll start as per usual in classic 3D. Okay, so that's what's happening. Now, if I go to here and go to my effects, and I'm just going to put in time. Okay, and I'm going to choose time displacement and put it on the adjustment layer. Okay, so that's going to make everything go a little bit weird. Okay, not to worry. Okay, it's kind of doing the original and also displacing it by 1 second. What we want to do is use the displacement map here to actually make it over time start at the top and end at the bottom. Okay, so if we go to GMap, okay, now it's just back to normal. Okay, so we need to, it's because we put an effect on this layer. Okay, so we need to make sure this recognizes the effect. So in here we need to go to effects and map, not just the source layer but also the effects that we've put on it. Okay, and now notice what happens. Alright, so what the white is doing, so I'll make sure this is at 1 second where the keyframe starts. Okay, so you'll notice what happens is where it's brighter, it starts earlier. Okay, so where it's pure white at the top, that would be on the effect 1 second ahead, and on the darker bits it'd be 1 second behind. Okay, and in the middle just kind of 50%, half and half. All right. So that's how it's working. This is starting earlier, so it's doing the same animation, but it's putting this forward and that bit backwards. So you get this nice kind of 3D little twirl to it. Okay, but you can see here, okay, there's a bit of aliasing there. It's a bit clunky. Now what we can do is add the time resolution. Okay, we'll take that from 60, say to 200. Okay, and that's smoothed it out more. And if you really want to smooth it out, it's to do with the displacement map. Okay, at the moment we're in 8 bits colour. Okay, so I've got to my map here. Okay, and I go to the effect controls. You can see we've got 255. Okay, it goes. So with 8 bits, you've got 0 to 255. So count the 0. That means you've got 256 gradients of grey. Okay, black to white. But if we switch the project up, okay, to 16 bits, you've got far more gradients. You can see there, it just gets smoother. Okay, and if we put it on like full resolution, you'll see it take a little more time to render, but you'll see how much smoother these corners are. There we go. Okay, but I'm just going to switch it back to 8-bit for now and put it back on half, just while we're working, just to speed things up a bit. Okay, so I've got the actual animation, but what I want to do is add some depth to this text. Okay, so I'm going to switch my renderer from Classic 3D to Cinema 4D. And now on our text options, if I open these up, we've now got what's called geometry options, which we didn't have before. And so say I'll set the extrusion depth to maybe 15. Okay, and that'll extrude the text out. And I'll add a little bevel to that as well on the corners. And what will really make this kind of pop is if the sides are a different colour. Okay, so I'm going to go into the animate menu and go to side, colour, okay, RGB, and I'll just pick the default red colour because that kind of works nicely. Now this is rendering, okay, so it's going to take a little time because we've got a lot going on. So as you can see, it's added this nice kind of extrusion, little bevel on the corners. Alright, so what I'm then going to do is make that 16 bits, and on here just check, okay, I've still got that high at 200. Okay, so I've got a high time resolution and I've got 16-bit depth. Okay, and so at the end it'll take a bit of time to render out because of the Cinema 4D options, but you'll get this nice smooth animation, okay, which we had here. Okay, so that's the time displacement effect used with a gradient map. Thanks for watching.